Race baiting in media, race baiting by the CBC. Yes, all of that. Yes, absolutely. 14 hours ago, the CBC is reporting Memphis authorities released video showing 5 police officers beating Tyree Nichols, a black man who later died. Oh my goodness, right? That sounds terrible until the Sigma Albertan weighs in and he says, yes, CBC is trying to race bait you with their headline. Here is a photo of the officers involved in the incident. And it's horrible, right? All of the officers are also black. Is this a racist event? No more racist than the Asian on Asian shooting in California. Not racist. It's not race-based. These are people doing people things, and people have been violent. It is a kind of a thing we do. Unfortunately, right? It's part of our history. It is just a thing we do. And so, right, these guys are not conveniently aligning with the narrative, but the CBC doesn't care. They'll make it fit, right? Like a round puzzle piece in a square hole. If you just bang it hard enough, it'll fit. It'll fit. It looks fine. It looks fine. Close enough. But that's what they do. Just like the minister did the other day, right? Talking about, this is Galbo, talking about how race led to this violence. That's not what happened. But they're trying to foster that. And that's not good. I don't like that from our media. ESL teacher says first reading, National Arts Center event to allow the only black identifying theater goers. So the whole point of this is there's a show from, I don't know, February 19th to 27th or something like that. One of those days is for black people only, or black identifying people. And the article goes to great lengths to talk about how if you have black family members and you want to attend, nobody's going to be turned away, and it's the honor system, and there's all sorts of things. Yeah, it's like February 17th, right? So February 17th, only a black identifying audience. And they go through why this is okay. This is not okay, right? Like if you change the race and decide that only Asian people, let's say, can go, and then go to great lengths and trip all over yourself to say, if you have mixed heritage people, they can come too. Nobody's going to be turned away. What's the point of it? And if you are allowed to say this is, race-based and we're only allowing this group of people, blah, 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 why is that suddenly acceptable? If you tried to do this in the early 2000s, you'd be denounced as racist. Now this is completely acceptable because of diversity and inclusion, which is nonsense. It's absolute nonsense, right? And so, but still, they're moving forward with this kind of stuff, right? Here it is. The National Arts Center, a Crown corporation funded by the federal government, will be marking Black History Month with a performance at which only black theatergoers will be welcome. On February 17th, the center is hosting its first ever Blackout Night with a black-only performance of Is God Is at Ottawa's Babs Asper Theatre. As per a statement, the center, the 897-seat venue will be open exclusively to an, quote, all black identifying audience. People of other races are invited to attend the play on any of the other nights during its February 9 to 18th run. The purpose of limiting the audience to people of a select ancestry is to, quote, allow for conversation and participation to be felt throughout the theater, explained the center. So if I want to feel the conversation and participation throughout the theater, the only day I can attend is on the 17th because that's when all the black people are attending. But I'm not allowed to go because I'm not black identifying. So I fundamentally miss this part of the performance. I can't experience this part of the performance because of my skin color. Thank you for being so clear, the federal government, right? It just all is just terrible. Attendees will self-identify based on the honor system. National Arts Center statements were also quiet as to what should be expected of mixed race couples or families. Quote, no one will be turned away at the door. There will be no checkpoints for Blackout Night ticket holders, and no questions will be asked about anyone's identity, race, or gender. It didn't say Black Men Night. The center wrote in a statement this week to journalists, John Kay, an occasional National Post contributor. Okay, this is the National Post, so they're being transparent. The play in question, Is God Is a recent creation of the American playwright Alicia Harris and follows two sisters who travel to the American South on a quest to kill their abusive father. Sounds nice. Lovely. Right? Yes. Maybe I'll skip this one anyway. Doesn't sound like the creative fare that I'm used to, regular regularly watching. Jewish Ottawa says Federation CEO Andrea Friedman met this afternoon with Minister Leachy and the entire Conservative Ottawa caucus to discuss anti-Semitism at the Ottawa Carleton District School Board and, of course, honor the Holocaust Remembrance Day, right? And they all sat there and they held up a sign that says, "We remember," and it's got a candle on it. Is this how you want your public servants to behave with regards to, is this just lip service? I'm going to hold up a picture that says "we remember," and there you go. Like, everything's all good. We remember. Okay, fine. The thing that gets me is the Upper Grand District School Board had an all-black student event at GCVI in Guelph. The Upper Grand District School Board openly states any system built by white people is inherently racist because it was built by white people. But don't be against the Jewish people, please, everyone. We remember the Holocaust and how bad racism is and what that led to, right? We won't do that again, right? But if you're not black, if you ain't black, you're not coming in here. But you've got to self-identify as black, I guess. The whole thing is just offensive, really, right? I think the whole thing is ridiculous. Is this how we want our public servants to serve us? Holding up pictures to pretend they're not racist when they have or allow or turn a blind eye to racist policies that schools in their portfolio are enacting? It's weird. I mean, it's weird. It's offensive. How do you solve that problem? Hold up a sign, right? Have a live stream and hold up a sign during it. Problem solved. Done. There you go. Jonathan Kay says, this is getting better. Trudeau's new Islamophobia expert has referred to Quebecers as anti-Muslim bigots. So here's the news piece in Le Presse, which is French language. So we won't read it, but you can read it and Google Translate it if you're interested. Omar Alghabra is coming out of the woodwork to attack Pierre Poilievre. And everybody is attacking Pierre Poilievre because Pierre Poilievre is pointing this inconvenient fact out that this person is herself biased. And Kat says, here come the attacks. They see the polls, all hands on deck. So Omar Alghabra says, Pierre voted against condemning Islamophobia and supported a niqab ban. Now, on the eve of the anniversary of the Quebec mosque shooting, he is demonstrating the first ever representative against Islamophobia. If he wanted unity, he would listen to voices like Amira's and not make reckless attacks. Interesting, right? Yesterday, I showed you that Amira had connections to CARE, etc. Here is Pierre Poilievre talking about the concerns with this person, etc. This is Omar's tweet. Here's Poilievre's tweet. It says, Trudeau again chooses to divide Canadians by appointing someone who has made anti-Quebec, anti-Jewish, and anti-police remarks. He must appoint someone who could unite all of us in the fight against racism and Islamophobia. So I'll tell you off the hop, Mr. Poilievre doubles, triples, quadruples down on how bad Islamophobia is and how much we need to double down and protect people from Islamophobia. I think it is the same policy. He will enact a similar policy. He will have some kind of czar in place to police Islamophobia. Thought crime will become your run-of-the-mill thing that is prosecuted and you won't think twice about it. And that's frightening as well. But I have concerns about how concerned Poilievre is with Islamophobia. Here we go.
Justin Trudeau has again insulted Quebecers, Jews, and police officers by naming someone to a key government post who has made comments against Quebecers, police officers, and the Jewish people. These comments are unacceptable and divisive. And it is incredible that knowing that this person had made these comments, that Justin Trudeau would nevertheless name her to a position that supposedly is meant to fight racism. This isn't the first time Justin Trudeau has promoted these kinds of views. His government gave massive grants to an organization whose lead spokesman had made racist, anti-Semitic comments. And Trudeau's minister knew of those comments while forking over our tax dollars to that unacceptable group. And now, today again, he divides us some more. This has become Justin Trudeau's approach. Divide people by race, by ethnicity, and by other distinctions that should not matter in Canada. We should fight racism. We should fight Islamophobia. And we should fight all forms of discrimination by bringing people together, not tearing them apart. Instead of divide and conquer as Trudeau always does. We should unite for our country. And that's what Conservatives will do. And that's why we're calling for this appointment to be reversed and for someone else to fill the job who can bring everyone together, who loves all our people, and who will fight all forms of racism. We need to stop Islamophobia, racism, and all other forms of hate. But we won't do it the way Justin Trudeau does, by dividing. So let's bring people together. Let's unite for our country.
So would he allow the all-black performance in Black History Month for the all-black crowd? Yeah? No? Because of race? Because we have to stamp out racism? I don't know. I'm very skeptical. Very skeptical. Tariq says, Muslim here, 10 years in rural Alberta, never once saw a hint of discrimination, just the most loving and welcoming people on the planet. But of course, when the polls are trailing, this locks in the Mississauga voting corridor, who vote on platitudes rather than policy. Justin Trudeau says Islamophobia and discrimination are unacceptable, period. Today, we're appointing Amir Blah as Canada's first special representative on combating Islamophobia to help end this hate and to build a better future for everyone. There is no hate. It's a lie. It's establishing a thought crime, a smear to say you're Islamophobic. Nobody's afraid. Arachnophobia is an irrational fear of spiders. Islamophobia is a made-up political bullshit term. It does not exist. You don't see a Muslim and go, ah! Like you would with a spider. You'd go, ah! But not with a Muslim, right? You follow Islam? No, it's not what happens. It's not Islamophobia. You're not irrationally afraid of Muslims. Holy smokeroonies. I'm afraid of people who get power, who denounce other people as racists and say they should be debanked or removed from society. I'm fearful of those people. If I see somebody like that, I go, right? Oh my gosh. Is that Islamophobia? I don't know.